All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Let me change this microphone volume just a little bit. Thought I did it beforehand, but I did not. Uh, there, that should be good. All right, that's better. The red line is moving now. Um, yeah. So voice is a little bit a little bit huskier today. Hope everybody had a good trading day yesterday. It was funny. All day I kept watching, and Ernest actually even made the comment that my plans for the weekend got messed up. And yeah, most of the things that we talked about yesterday about what potential moves could look like and like what Sunday could look like all happened yesterday. So obviously the market listens to chart school in the morning. And they had to react accordingly, I guess. It's a big movement, though. This is probably the busiest day we've had probably in the last week and a half. Um, I mean, the pound putting in a three-digit move for the day. And remember, I talked about the pound getting up just a little bit higher and then collapsing, and it may be a Sunday thing. Well, no, I was wrong. It was a Thursday thing. It ended up going higher, and then obviously you can see it collapsed here, minus 60, minus 118. Interestingly enough, though, the euro pound did not really move too much. I mean, again, it's been retracing in the last hour, but it wasn't a huge retracement there. And if you remember me saying of the three kind of ways to play the pound, I like the pound dollar and the pound yen better. Looks like the euro pound again just kind of faltered, and then dollar CAD. I mentioned this as well. You guys remember dollar CAD? I was like, yeah, if it goes down just a little bit lower, this would be a great place for it to gap into, and then look for that big push up. We've had so much negativity with the dollar. We'll see, some positive sentiment coming back in. Well, yeah, the positive sentiment came back in. Down 60, down 57. This one was off again. That's more the yen based, and not really so much based off the dollar. But boom, dollar up 42, up 91, down 37. So yeah, all my analysis came in about 3 days early. I was like, man, sometimes you just feel like, yep, I got it. I like these setups. We're good. I just need to wait, be patient. And man, the market just was not patient. So yeah, thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. All right, so hold on one sec, guys. Uh, hold on one sec, guys. Oops. Sorry, one of my lax parents was messaging me. We have a tournament tomorrow, so it's kind of like everybody's scramble time to get this and get that and get this. Um, yeah. So again, nice movement. Happened much faster than I thought it was going to. Was prepared for it, but surprising. Go Thursday. That's what it happens. All right. So today, excuse me. Today, news 8:30 is really what's most important for us. The CAD unemployment rate, and again, CAD has a big day. 91 is a big move. It's over the ATR with such a big burst up again. The big question is it reacting to this ahead of time, or does it already know the release number? So we'll kind of see where we're at and see what type of movement we can kind of get into for this one. But again, we're going to cover this one a bit earlier than we do, just to make sure that we're there. Actually, we're going to cover this one right after the Aussies, and we're going to jump over. And then again, we have the dollar stuff coming in right below that. PPI can be a mover. It's Friday, so Friday always has kind of an interesting kind of spin on news. I wouldn't say that PPI is one of the largest, although it is definitely something that can move the markets. Euro dollar, pound dollar. Obviously CAD dollar on a non-CAD news release day, it will have effect as well. And then maybe even the dollar yen, it could. It could today, actually. Could today. And then after that, we're done. 9:30, we actually have the CB leading index for the pound. And then again, the pound checks out. Pound and euro check out about an hour and a half after that. So for the most part, everything will be focused around this 8:30 number today. Scanner wise, again, morning time. It's given us more setups than we've seen, and again, there has been a decent amount of movement this morning. You can see that the Aussie dollar has given us like a downtrend setup, and again, that's actually not a horrible trade. Yesterday we mentioned, and I kind of pointed it out. We were keeping a zone from chart school. I wanted to kind of continue it forward. I liked the way that it respected that zone. That there was a potential Harry Potter trade setup, and it hit it literally perfectly. I mean, I couldn't, if I was drawing the candles, I couldn't have drawn the setup actually better, off the exact thing we talked about. So we'll cover that one. Dollar yen, New Zealand. We'll cover the New Zealand. I didn't look at that this morning. I need to add that one. Unfortunately, that one's not on Nadex, so that one's kind of just a really a spot currency thing only for us. As you can see, the Euro basket actually has a bit more movement than we've had. Two different setups, one confirmation with the Euro New Zealand. So that's kind of an interesting little bit. We haven't seen too much. Again, this one will move, but Euro being as flat as it has been has given us more opportunities today. CAD basket is kind of on fire. And again, we haven't really seen the CAD do too much. It's been rather slow this week. And then last night, yesterday, it just decided to explode. Kind of crazy, right? You'd all of a sudden just moves. It just moves. And again, it went off that bottom zone. So a bunch of different things going on in the CAD right now. And what I like about the CAD basket right now, and again, some of this could be because of news. Typically, early morning like this, we will see setups over here, but then things start to die down into the 30-minute and the 5 minutes. 30-minute and 5 is quite active over here as well. We have some confirmations on not only the 30-minute, but also the 5-minute. So CAD looks like it is definitely a position to be kind of, weary of. And again, today's number, the unemployment change, the unemployment rate, is a big release, particularly with COVID, because, people not working and things. So I would say it's probably more important now than it would be just, like 6 months ago or a year ago. Unemployment change and unemployment rate matters, but not to the extent that it does right now. It doesn't show you the true impact of what's happening in a country. Unemployment rates are actually not necessarily true. It doesn't, take into consideration the full pool. It doesn't do, self-employed people as well. It's not an exact representation, but in something like this where people are just not able to work, it is definitely much more, a representation of what the country's true economic kind of abilities. Aussie, straight red. Look at this, all red in the Aussie. Okay, pound is a little bit switched, right? Pound is a little bit kind of back and forth. Again, we expected to see more pound strength. I'm sorry, not pound strength, pound weakness on this one. So we still have a couple, two currencies that are holding firm here. The pound Aussie, which again, Aussie is just straight down right now. Everything is negative, and again, makes sense. We've seen the Aussie be straight up for such a long period of time at this point. We were pushing high in the curve, getting up into areas of supply, so we're looking for those things to the downside. And again, pound is actually, it's funny I say that now, the pound is starting to swing back into the blue. But again, big move today, so not really. It should kind of retrace a bit, but right now at 64 and 120, again, that's the best two things we have looking. And again, dollar CAD just broke 3 digits as well in 24 hours. So Thursday was a good one. This is like what we had Monday 2 Mondays ago, where it was like an amazing Monday, right? Today just happens to be Thursday into Friday. So so we'll roll with that one. So let's jump into the charts because I want to make sure we get to dollar CAD. Actually, what we'll do today, I'm trying to get some coffee in here. My voice is already too much yelling. We had that lacrosse game, the scrimmage last night, and I'm just gonna pull this down. Hold on. We can't find desktops today. I think it's desktop 3. Yeah, there we go. We had that game last night, and it was okay. I was missing 2 of my mid players, and just getting back into the swing of things. It was good. I was happy. We didn't win. We lost by like 1 or 2. We missed 2 goals, literally standing on the goalie's crease. It was kind of surprising, but my goalie had an amazing game. So, it all worked out in the end. We got what we wanted out of it. Voice is not quite back up to game readiness though, so I can feel it today. I'll be not talking today, so I can survive 3 tomorrow. All right, so Aussie dollar. This was the first one. If you guys remember me talking about it yesterday, we talked about how that zone from Tuesday's Nadex chart school, it got broken. But I really like the way that it was broken. I like the fact that it hit and bounced. It went above and it bounced, and it went over and it bounced again. And if you remember talking, we were kind of sitting right up in this area. I'd mentioned, hey, listen, we had our one big touch in here. We had another one. And if we go through again, there's a potential Harry Potter trade setup. Well, what do we have? There's the same zone, again, being respected on both sides. Crashed through, gave us some space, touched the zone. We used that as our risk, and then boom. There was your 1 to 3, which was in a fine location. And then again, your eventual target would have been the opposing zone, which has been, proven to be, right here. Where did it hit? Just a little bit below that before it started to bounce again. So again, ideal setup in this format. Just the old zone becomes the new zone. All right. And again, this was an absolute textbook kind of piece on this one. I'm going to leave it on the chart because, again, I'm going to use it for kind of teaching purposes. I'm going to probably screenshot it. And again, it's ideal. There's no better way that we could draw this one. All right. Where we are now it is pushing lower. If we drop up to the 4 hour, you can see that, again, still very high on the curve in this one, right? Still very, very high in the curve. Um, on an hourly basis, this gives a kind of a little bit more of a breakdown. So things that I'm looking at here, obviously we had this level of basing up here, right? It kind of came down, came back up and retested, and then came across and then punched its way down. That's actually what we just ran into again. So there is a smaller kind of trade that we're in right now, which would be approximately in this zone in here. I guess I could do it from there as well. But you can see it's got a little bit more room to run to the downside. I don't think it'll have any problem getting back down to that level, but I would still be very cautious with this 69.29. Obviously, the Aussie economy is done, so this is basically a dollar/gold play for the rest of the day. Like I said, I see this one coming down. I don't know if this 69.29 level, again, the one we have marked off here, is going to be the one that holds anymore. It's been touched here, and then this one got pushed all the way down here to the brink. So I wouldn't probably take that one for any type of long or a bounce. There is a level right below it as well, and that may be actually a little bit better of a zone. This one down here at 69.19 or 69.20. That one is actually setting up for kind of a great rebound over the weekend. And I know I said this yesterday and everything moved super quick. So there's a couple of different ways we can look at this one. One, we could look at it for like a reversal at 10:30 this morning. Two, we can kind of keep it on the radar for Sunday. Now, other things we can keep on the radar for Sunday. Let's see. Let me make sure all these are turned off so we don't lose all of them. I think that's good. There we go. Another thing we got to watch out for Sunday. And again, Fridays, I don't do tons of trading on Fridays. It's kind of like if I can grab something quick in the morning, I will. And then after that, it's kind of just I'm done for the week for the most part. But I'm looking at zones like this. Again, nice push up, nice base. It did hit a zone, but then kind of rocketed away. This could be a potential weekend setup as well. If price comes in and maybe we bounce off this lower level today and then we end right in here. If we open in this zone, I'm going to be looking to take shorts off of that on Sunday night. Same thing, if we do not breach this 69.20, I will also be looking to take longs off of that on Sunday night. Okay? So that's what I'm looking for either way. At this point, no trade because we're already about 3/4 of the way through this one into profit based off of that prior move. Now, obviously, that was the early bird gets the worm. But yeah, it's moving. And, from its actual entry area, you'd already be up about 21 pips on that one. Okay? All right, we'll do this one real quick. Kind of the same thing. We had talked about this one yesterday. About how we didn't really have a great entry. We were sitting right here, right? Price was right here. And we mentioned we were flirting with this area. We had the zone drawn just above. And we're like, we needed to go just a little bit more before we started the collapse. We ended up putting in a failure to go higher. And actually, I think I mentioned that too, because we were right here. And we really didn't get a retest into it. It just continued to fall away. Again, we based right at this 1 to 5 level, right? And then continue to push all the way back down to the opposing zone at 74.08. And again, we talked about this level as well being, somewhat of a target for any type of shorts we put in. There's a lot of stuff in here we wanted to kind of push through. Right now, it's continuing to push down, although I don't know if it's going to make it through this zone today. This was not a horrible zone. Nice push out of it, and again, it's been respected once. It did come up and grab at a good area. Again, same thing. This is an easy one to grab. Right in there. Again, should have been an easy pullback grab to the downside. This one also, I don't think 1 to 3 will be much of an issue. 1 to 5, probably a little bit harder. It's got to break through the level of buyers that kind of turn it around once already. Doesn't mean that it can't do it. The yen will have a little bit more staying power today and movement. But again, this one is also one of those currency pairs that is at risk for reversals. Again, because of the yen, right? Man, I love coffee. Zones that I'm looking at. This zone, again, typically for pullbacks, we only deal with it once, maybe twice. So if we do come back down in this zone and take a bounce away again, I do think that level here is actually not bad. It barely touched that zone, so 74.33 would be an area where I'd be looking to get short end. If we can come down and bounce off the zone. If it starts to turn here again, then not as much, but I'd like it to come through and bounce. That's not a bad one. I don't know that I would take the longs anymore at a 74.08. It would depend what the basing looks like if it comes down in 1, but pretty sure I wouldn't take it now. How much room do we got? We only got about 15 pips. And again, on the 30-minute, you can see that's exactly what it turned out of. What I'd probably do is I'd look for longs out of this level right here. Yeah. So that's where we'd be looking right now. Would be this zone. right here. Changes to the pink. Right? And then another potential zone down here. Okay, 73.30, 73.74 on the bottom side and 73.33 on the top side. Okay. Again, this was an easy grab. You had to be up at, they just entered the actual zone at about 6 o'clock this morning, but it's there. Very, very clean. Again, formed last night at about 11 o'clock to the downside. All right, let's jump across the dollar CAD and see what we got here. All right, so dollar CAD. Ernest is like, yeah, this one messed up your analysis. Like, yes, it did. Because remember we were talking about hitting a zone down here, ending there Friday, and then having it blow up on us, Sunday night into Monday. Well, guess what? It did it early. But you guys remember these drawings. These drawings have been sat on here. I said, I also like the way that this zone, this was a potential trade set up before from a Harry Potter, right? Let's delete this. Right? Talked about a zone here. Well, the zone got blown through on the way down, right? Well, it did retrace and it did front run. And I said, that's kind of an interesting position because, again, we know that there were some sellers that stepped in. Let's see what it does on the way up, right? I said we could potentially take a long or we can kind of get a confirmation in either direction. Well, what do? It ended up blowing up yesterday, right? Came through, pierced, right? Came up, based, came back down and touched. And again, I can go down to the 15. It's a little bit clearer to see, right? Came up above, grabbed, and then actually we could have done it here. Either one of these two were fine entries on that one. And again, we needed 1 to 3 to there. Did we hit that one? Yep. Did we hit this one? Yep. Did it hit our target line of 136.14? Yep. So again, this one did all of its movement that I assumed that we'd be able to take advantage of on Sunday. It did it on Thursday. Analysis doesn't change, guys. That's why you leave these things on the charts. So where we are now for news. Unfortunately, we're already starting to get a push back down to the downside. News is in 10 minutes, and it looks like we're getting, let's kind of see here. This one, unfortunately, has not stabilized yet. So typically when we're going to trade these news-wise, we're looking for levels of stabilization. We're also kind of smack in the middle right here. It's attempting to put a rally back in again, but we're not really close to anything level-wise here. We're sitting in the middle. Like typically this will run. If it's going to be a nice runner, it typically will move to a zone. There's a little tiny one here, although I'd be very cautious with that one because that one kicked in about 10 minutes ago. Unfortunately, this one's not giving us a lot this morning. I mean, obviously we have a zone here. Right. Obviously, there's a zone sitting right there. That would be actually a green zone. Yeah, this one looks like it triggered early. It's reaching for more sellers right now, but unfortunately, there's not a whole lot of clean sellers really above where it is. It's got to go a bit. It's got to go kind of like up in here to grab those sellers, and I don't know in 9 minutes if it's going to be able to make it up that far. Yeah, I mean, it's really kind of back up in this range. These are very, very minor selling. I mean, I'm down on a 5 minute. It's still very tiny. We're talking about 1.6 pips for a zone. The ATR is 5, so it doesn't quite qualify there. Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be too much of a play on this one, unfortunately. Let me check Nadex real quick. Let me see. I'm curious to see if where the spreads are real quick. Let's see how much premium's jacked into these things. Let's see. 8 to 10. Currently right now the indicative is at 135.96. Ooh, there is one that's not horrible. Let's see how much is jacked into it. Yeah, they got 18 jacked into it already. And it's coming in there already. Yeah, they're jacking and it's already moving too. So what I was looking at was something like this. Right? The indicative is 59.93. I'm sorry, 35.93. The ceiling on this one is 35.90, but look how much premium they got jacked into this one. They got a bunch of premium, so they're expecting, somewhat of a bigger move on this one, right? And again, 18 pips risk in this one. Kind of a lot, for this one to move for news. I mean, it's got 2 hours, but kind of a bit on this one. Let's see what we have here. These are still jacked. Look at this. 20 pip differential on dollar CAD. So probably not worth it. Let's see. And again, these are 40s. Yeah, I love this one. This one doesn't move all day. And then, whoops, what did I do here? Nope, I don't need that one. There we go. I hit minimize and everything jumped on me. Way to go, team. Way to go. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't think that one Nadex wise this one is just not, it's already moving too much. It's kind of jumping back and forth. So news wise, we'll see. We are getting closer to that level, so we are rallying back down again. So maybe we are actually getting ready for a long. We may get down here. Let me do CAD yen real quick. So CAD yen's kind of in the same position. We did take a bounce. This is off the hourly. Here's your 30-minute. Again, ideally you want it inside of a zone to be able to take that for a long. This one is pulling away from it, which again, it's pushing down now. Let's see if we're getting into a better zone. We're in a level of basing, but it's not. Man, it's just, I want it in a zone, and neither one of these two is in a zone for this news release today. Let's see, changes to pink real quick. This one may be a play after, because it's not really pushing in either way. So, as you know, guys, for news releases, we're looking for it to, 10, 15 minutes before the news release, we want it to push into a zone, something that's really clean, something that you can see on the lower time frames. Even on the 5-minute, I wouldn't say that there's a clear kind of zone in here, like, yeah, that's a good one. There's a little bit of basing now that it pushed into, which, again, on CAD yen, looks like it wants to push higher. But I wouldn't say that that's, again, it's in the middle of the range. It's not kind of one of the extremes. Like, this would have been a great zone to pull into before news. We're kind of up in the middle. So it's not really the cleanest entry in either of these two. So ways that you can handle this one. Obviously there's a spike target up top that requires about 22 pips. It probably is going to, it has the ability to move more than 22. So tends to be a bit close. 38 is probably the better one to take the reversal on up in that zone, as far as one of the two spikes today. Downside, as you can see, there's a huge zone down here. So this one's going to be a bit harder. Again, there's a gap in here. There's these ascending candles here. So downside spike is going to be a bit harder to kind of gauge. Let's see. Maybe, let's see, right there. Okay, so that may be, this is probably the downside spike area. Right there. You know what, let me change these to white. I'm confusing everybody. Like, why do you have red everywhere? Are we shorting? No. Those can stay. Those are shorts. Probably those two. These two are probably where if we can get price to spike, if there's enough of a, a miss. Oops. If there's enough of a miss, look for spikes in either of those two directions. Okay. We got a couple minutes, so we'll come back to that one and check that one. See where dollar CAD pushed. It's just kind of faltering back and forth in that range. If it did come back down, that would have been a nice long. Did they pre-release number? No, not yet. All right, so I'm gonna be keeping an eye on this. I had this up on my other screen, guys, and I'm just gonna click every so often. We know we got about 3 minutes before these kick in. Then we'll come back to that one and kind of play a reaction off of it. Let's go across and do Euro Yen real quick. So Euro Yen was another one of those ones that yesterday we were looking for a short, and it looked like it was set up for a short. It was having some problems. Here's where we are right now. Here's where we were last night or yesterday, right there. Okay, right here. And we were looking for a pullback of a little bit more. Now, it ended up hitting the wick over wick, which is a little bit aggressive. Actually, I think it missed it by a few pips. You may or may not have gotten this one, depending on your brokerage firm. Either way, obviously, it had a big day, big push to the downside. We were looking for it to again, being high on the curve. It hit a nice plateau, had a nice push away. We were looking for the pullback. Just missed entry. Obviously, this trade was still valid. It pushed all the way back down. So, interesting place where we are now. It ended up hitting the profit target, too. As you can see, it came down and kind of stabilized itself inside of that 120.72. Again, that's what we were looking for. Okay, so it did exactly what we talked about. It just did it much faster than we thought it was going to work. So now, again, the same zone, if we push it across, you can see that there's a level of basing. It's kind of risky for a short. It can push, it has room for about 30 down. It's about halfway through right now. So again, valid area, but again, something that you kind of want to watch out for in this range, right? Reason why is because it's already taken one bounce. We know there's buyers down here. That's what was able to turn it around. If you're looking a bit lower, about 30 pips from where we are now, we do have a zone, but that zone was actually formed off of a gap. So again, the gap does mess up, some of the indicators a bit, because it's like, oh, well, it compares both sides and where price was. Obviously on the gap, it's huge, right? So for this weekend, this one is also, a few different areas in here that we need to be looking out for. As you can see, this one has been really pushed to the brink. So I don't think that one is valid. I think we will be able to push down into this lower level, which is sitting down here, right? Now, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there are a few dots right in here, okay? That's up on a 4-hour. It's set on a 4-hour right now. So that would be, it's all the way down there. Probably, let's see. Yeah, I think this is where we're looking for. So today we're cheering on this one to go to the downside. I'd like for it to get, and again, we drew a zone down here, so we know that that's there as well. But the 119.83, 119.65 in this range, it's about 58 pips. So if this one continues to push down, which again, I don't think it's going to have any problem taking over this next 20 or 30, it's going to have about 20 or 30 it's got to do. And again, it's got to push through one zone here. If we can get a close somewhere down in this range for today, opening here in the 119.83, 119.65, again, depending on where it opens inside of this zone, this would be a long on Sunday night, okay? I probably won't trade this one today, again, with the European Union kind of dying out. It's 8:30 already. I think that's probably going to be the best bet, is to kind of hold this one. All right, let's see. Numbers are out. Okay, so that would explain a lot. So numbers are mixed, okay? The back and forth, the powers that be that have that pre-knowledge, they called it right. Again, that indecision. So unemployment change, obviously that number was much higher than expected. Again, that was a good bump. Unemployment rate, that also ticked a bit higher. And again, that's not what they want to see. So again, mixed news, one red, one green, both of them on those high releases. So that kind of explains the price action. And again, both the PPI data was bad. Okay, worse than expected. They're expected to be slightly positive. Both were slightly negative. So this is going to end up setting our tone for the day inside of the stock market, which is nice to know, right? It's always good now that we have kind of an idea what's going to happen. So again, Euro Yen, we'll see if it has the power now to get kind of down to that level. It probably should. Again, like I said, I don't see this area holding much. In this next one, it's questionable, but I think we should break. So look for 119.83 and 119.65. Anywhere the price starts here on Sunday, look for longs. So let's go back and look at CAD. Yeah, you can see this. Look, spiked down and spiked right back up again. So it was reaching. The entry would have been back in here, and again, it didn't do too much. Like I said, this will continue to probably push a bit higher, but again, it does have some sellers above. So we're only talking about 9 pips. Looks like a big spike on here and something really super impressive, but unfortunately, it's nothing too crazy. And again, with only 5 pips worth of risk in there, I mean, yeah, it's 2-1 at this point, but it's not gonna be great. So the large premium definitely had it right this morning. And then CAD Yen, same thing. Look at that. Off of a 5-minute response, you can see one little pop, and this one will continue to push down today as well. So I would stay negative. You can see there's a couple different levels down here. Just wait for it to come down. Like I said, it should be negative. It shouldn't have too much problem. Obviously, the yen is going to be a little bit of an issue today. But again, punching through, this zone's already been pushed to the brink. That one should break. And then we'll be getting kind of in this range. I don't know. Again, it's going to take a little while. I don't know late day if I would take this one. Probably not. Typically, I don't look at it after 12. I don't think it's going to get that far before 12. But Sunday night, this is also a great little setup over here at 78.10 for Sunday night openings. All right, so that's good. So we've got kind of 2 Sunday night openings out of that one, plus the Euro Yen. Pound Yen. All right, so this was from before. We were sitting right in this level. And again, we talked about a basing level. We dropped and we based in that same bit, right? So checking our time, here's where we are now. Here's where we were yesterday at this time, right here. Okay. And again, we talked about it would be nice if we get a bit higher. This one kind of left the left the station without us. We did get the base. It did put a level in. We did get a bit of a retracement in. Again, it based right through that same level. Check this out. Same thing. Came back down, and again, it just missed the Harry Potter setup. But again, it was almost perfect as well. Actually, it's probably. Let me see how many. I want to see how close we missed it by. Yeah, by a few pips. But you guys see it did the same thing. Same level before. Again, level hit target. Level came back up, based through that level, went up, bounced off of it, and went higher. Came back down, based in it again, meaning, hey, listen, somebody loves this level. Dropped, base below, and then pulled back up, and we just missed entry. But again, same principle, right? Bring this back. I need to keep that for Tuesday's group. Okay. All right, where we are now. So we took a bounce off that 1 to 5 area, sitting in this level of basing. We got a bit more room to run to the downside on this one. Hopefully this doesn't delete everything. No. I like this 134.11 area. I think that the way that this respected this, again, we bounced here, bounced again, front run here. I think that is probably what we are looking for. And I'll put a box there. We can have it kind of shadow through. It's fine. Oops. Something along those lines. I think that zone's pretty good. Again, like I said, it was a gap in that zone, and then again the zone was confirmed right here and then got front run. So we got about 50 pips to run. Most likely not a target for today. Again, this one has that same kind of bump that we got early morning. That short will most likely, again, we will probably be able to complete that one. The 1 to 5, that one may have a little bit more problems, but again, being based with the yen, I think this one will be able to continue to push lower. So I'd be looking for longs. Set yourself some alerts. Again, this could also be Sunday night. It probably won't be a bounce today. I don't know that we're going to move that much in the next 2 hours. 50 pips in 2 hours is a lot for this one. And not that it can't happen, but, that's a decent move early morning, especially for the pound. They do have that leading index, but that's not really necessarily a big mover. But 134.06 would definitely be an area I'd be looking for some longs off of. And again, if we get down to this level, by some chance, by 10:30 this morning, there could be a potential setup there. Why? For a reversal in the yen, right? The reversal in the yen is at 10:30. That's what happens, particularly on Fridays. All right. Top side longs, I'd probably use that same level up there again, that 135.24. I'll bring it across I'll bring this across over here. Up in there. Right there is fine. It's a little bit high. Oops. Right in there. Again, there's an okay base. I'd probably kind of shrink it a little bit. I'd probably move it. Probably just shrink it just a bit. Lower the risk level on that one. In there is what I'd move it for. We already know that, again, it's already been front run. There's buyers that have, or sellers that have stepped in. Again, it's based off that Harry Potter setup, the same idea that, levels, will end up flip-flopping side to side. So again, I'd be looking for that again. So longs in this one would be 134.06. Shorts would be 135.21. Okay? What's up, Ray? Look at that. He knew I was doing to it. We just brought it right here. All right. So here was the setup from yesterday, guys. We talked about the pound going much, much lower. Okay, this one again took off. There was where we put the entry. Again, that was based off a 4-hour level. Both of these two, obviously, the pound yen and the pound dollar needed to go a bit higher. It went higher, obviously, and ended up completing last night. It gave us a little fake out, right? Like we ended up hitting early. We ended up hitting this one. Let's see. We got the initial entry over here. Right? Like 9:30, like in about an hour yesterday. An hour from now, but yesterday, right? So pretty close. We were sitting right here and we talked about it going just a bit higher. Trying to see if, hey, listen, we're close. Let's see. It's already been pushed away. We'll see if we can get it. we got it an hour later, ended up coming down very, very quick. By 10:30, we'd done most of the spike. And then it kind of pulled back and just flatlined on us a bit. And I'm sure many people probably got out and are like, yeah, it's close. I'm not going to lose money on this one. Before it ended up pushing all the way through, right? Didn't make its 1 to 5 before it retraced back up again. So for today, it's kind of in the middle of the range. So right now, again, that level was actually a 4-hour zone. So it's probably valid for one more hit. That 126.62 would be an area we'd be looking to get short. Long-wise, there are zones down here, but I don't know that I would say that those are the best. It's being marked off, but I really think, I don't know. These zones, these will work. That one shouldn't work. Why that one shouldn't be there because that was pushed literally to the end. I probably wouldn't use that one. If you're really looking to trade this one today, I'd probably say that. That's about, like I said, it's about 80 pips down. I don't think we're going to get up into that for trading range. It's just a bit too far. Could that be something for Sunday? Sure, probably. But I don't think we even have anything on the lower time frames. Let's see. Not really. I mean, like I said, this was a zone that we had marked off, and it, again, it respected it here, stayed above, stayed below, came back up again, and it's kind of go back and forth again. But I wouldn't use that as the same type of Harry Potter. Wouldn't use that as the same kind of bit for this one. There's a little zone there. I don't know. Let's see where the. I don't know. I feel like that one's forcing it. I feel like most of the movement in this one has happened. It's 8:40 right now. It's got like 2 hours left in its trading day. What's the dollar going to do? I feel like with the news we got this morning, I feel like the dollar is not going to. This is a very, very minor, and I'm on the 15-minute chart. This is a very, very minor level. It's in the middle of the range. It's not really the best. I would say it's hyper aggressive. Friday with one of the two currencies out, hyper aggressive. It's just too many kind of red flags for me. I think I would still hold and wait till we get up top. I mean, you could use this new level here. You could use this level and use that as your entry instead of waiting for it to go all the way up. I mean, it's got a bit of room to run. I mean, it's got 40 pips. It could do that in the next 2 hours, although that's a lot of movement based off the open. But you could take that, and again, this is very, very small risk trade. It's only about 12 pips. Instead of going up and taking the 4-hour. I mean, it's right kind of in the same level, but obviously the 4-hour risk is a bit more. That's about 23 pips. Friday, do we want to have to move 60 in a reversal? Little bit sketchy, right? But coming up here with the 12, we only need 34 in the other direction. That's a lot more likely of a reversal in the afternoon. All right, so I think that's what I would use for this one for today. If you guys are looking to get this one short, is to get look to get short around 126.57. See what the candle formation looks like. See if there's any basing right below that level. But that could be where to get short from. And again, hyper aggressive wise, if you really need to get into something, there is a zone here. It's both a 15-minute and an hourly zone coming in kind of at that same level in here. The risk is also small. It's only about 16. And here I'll mark that off if you guys can't find it on yours. Okay, 125.44. So 126.57 or 125.44. It may just base and flat and go, and then again, no harm, no foul. Euro pound. So euro pound last night. We talked about this one as well. Again, this one much flatter, right? This is the 1 hour chart. Here's where we are now, and here's where we were yesterday, right here. Okay. So, did it do much? No, it went straight across. It stayed inside of that zone and literally went flat. Didn't do anything for us. Again, no big talks. One thing I would be watching out for is things like this. The leading news right now that came out 24 minutes ago. The UK says significant differences remain in post-Brexit talks. There we go. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. I like that one. Love that. I love differences in the word with anything that has to do with Brexit. So I am all over that one. But again, obviously the market's like, okay, what does that mean? They don't know what it means, so that's why we're not getting much movement on this one. And I would say this one, again, with both European currencies, they're almost out of time. It's just probably not worth looking at today. For next week, I'm still looking for this 90-10. If we can get a bounce off 90-10, we'd be looking, I'm okay with that one. Beyond that, again, we're waiting for the 88, 85 down here. Again, it's got to push in one of the two directions. It's got to break the stalemate and go one of the two ways for me. All right, so euro dollar. All right, so euro dollar ended up pushing down to this lower basing level. Okay, here's where we are right now at 8:30, and we were right here, right there yesterday. Okay, we talked about going a bit higher. As you guys can see, we had 113. Actually, I think it was on an hourly. Yeah, we were talking about 113.79 being able to push, and again, we were close. You know, we're sitting right here, and it's like, come on, is this the pullback? Just go just a little bit farther. And unfortunately, this one decided to. The dollar crapped out on us, right? Well, it didn't really crap out on us. It was more the euro, but the dollar got a lot of strength real quickly, right? We missed entry in this one. It was good for a short. It went back down right to where the profit target was at 112.77. And like I said, there was a couple opportunities. This was one of the ones. If you got into it, it was an awesome trade setup. Unfortunately, I believe most of you would have probably missed out on it. It just left a little bit too early. And again, that can happen, you know, but then again, that gives more credibility to this level that sellers stepped in early. Where we are now, again, in looking at this, just drag that over there. You know, you can see a level of basing right in here. It's not the best level of basing, and that's what we kind of turned off of. And it made a push down. You know, it moved about 22 pips to the downside. Obviously, the negative European or the negative U.S. data is what's kind of affecting this right now on the hourly basis, and I do think it will come up and test this level again. So this level, it pushed about 80% of the way through, so it's something that you need to be cautious of. I don't know that it's another short kind of possibility. If anything, and again, it depends on the timing of this. It depends on a lot of different things. Would be a break through the top, a pullback, and then a continuation to the top side. If I'd assume now, seeing the news and seeing how the U.S. will react to it, knowing that there's no more European data, but we get to digest this bad PPI data, seeing the chart, again, if it gets the power to bump through this level, and again, the far side of that level is approximately at 113.04. Again, it could be another Harry Potter kind of continuation trade to the top side. All right. Otherwise, again, keep these on your radar. 113.79, 112.05. All right. Dollar CAD we looked at. Let's see what that's doing. Yeah, see, it's just kind of stuck. It did that spike up and down, and it's just stuck because it washed itself out. All right, dollar yen. So, dollar yen. All right, so we are here right now. Okay, we were sitting right here yesterday. Okay. We were in a level of basing, and we talked about having a zone just a bit lower. I don't know if that was from a 30-minute. No, it would have been from a 30-minute. Oh, that was the top. Yep, that was a check. All right, so we talked about having this gigantic, and actually this comes up the weekly. We shouldn't be on weekly, but there's a zone in there. Anyway, we talked about 106.79 a while ago, talking about we had a level of basing, and there was a test right here, right? We had this test coming in at this level, right? And basically, this is what it's testing, just FYI. That's what the zone's testing. Okay. Right now, this one to me looks like it wants to continue to push lower. I mean, it's pulling up. There's a 4-hour zone sitting up there, which is kind of funny. I wonder how that's playing. How's it pulling that one? Oh, there we go. It's on this one. Yeah, it's on the hourly. Okay. What do we got lower? We got about 30 pips lower. So there is a kind of a hyper aggressive target. There's a wick over wick right here that you could potentially use for a short. Like I said, it's going to have to push up, which would give us kind of an upward rally. I don't know that it's going to make it that high. I'm bearish this position. I don't think I can justify jumping in that one. Like I said, that's a very aggressive target or a very aggressive entry. And even this level, that level's better, but it's got a lot to move. It's about 22. All right, so I would rate this one as maybe a B, guys. I don't think this one is as high. This is probably the best we got with it. Like I said, it just may not be tradable. Again, it may do this today. If for some reason we're able to get a rally early this morning for some reason, you know, if we can get a rally back up, this could potentially be a reversal at 10:30. Again, because it's $1 in the yen. But I wouldn't say that I'm in love with this one. Like I said, I would probably rate this one as a B at the most. I don't know. I think there's other opportunities out there. That's probably the best we got with this one. As far as kind of going into Sunday, I think, focusing on, let's see, I don't even think that's the best level. No, not really. So Sunday, I'd be looking for anything opening below 106.24 would be an interesting long target or a long entry. And anything topside, again, we got to see kind of where the gap is on this one. This one is probably going to be more of a gap play than it will be a kind of a gap into a supply or demand area. Okay, just by the way that the zones are formed, there's no super clean movement. I mean, really, it's 106.24 or here, right? 107.99, basically 108. Those are the two cleanest entries in this one right now. And again, we're at 107, so we're like 100 from one and 75 from the other one. So neither one of them is really great. Just again, I'd rate it as a B at best, right? Dollar Swiss. Dollar Swiss, you can see it did some work. This one went up about 46. It moved. This one we started talking about this yesterday. A lot of this movement kind of kicked in. Kind of kicked in early, right? So we were sitting right in this level. Again, we were looking for a break. It went higher. We said that the ideal two places of entry on this one would be 94.42 and 93.47. It just kind of went along the base and then, picked up a little bit of steam. All right. And again, this kind of coincided with what we saw in the dollar. I was waiting for better entry. We didn't get the better entry. It kind of left without us. Same story as the euro dollar. I would still say that both these zones are valid entries. Again, this is still kind of a magic line to see if we're above and below the 93.85. But 94.42 again would be interesting place to short, particularly if we can get there on Sunday. If we open up in that range Sunday, it's a short. If we push back down to the 93.47, again, kind of the same deal. Although at this point, that one's got about 60 pips. This one only has a daily ATR of 53. So I don't know that one is going to be a target for today. Okay. All right. Overcross and NQ. All right. So as I said yesterday, we were trying to see if we had a failure to go higher, right? And it did push up into that zone, and then we kind of just hammered this thing to the downside, okay? Typically, when it does that, it's no longer at that failure to go higher type level. There was a lot of movement off of there, so there was kind of a small position sitting right here. And again, it came up and ended up pushing higher. So interesting play on this one. Again, large down. I would say, if anything else, this one was more of a long entry yesterday, based off the way that this collapsed down. And I don't know if it marked it off. No, it wasn't that mark. I don't know where the mark. I had the mark on this one. Let's remove that. Anyway, obviously, price turned here. Okay, with the spike down on this one, this was an ideal setup for a long. And again, this was a parabolic retracement trade. Whenever you see these things collapse, especially when it collapses and bases, you got to look to the left and say, okay, was this an area prior that we had a pullback? And the answer is yes, right? We did actually have a 4-hour zone sitting just below it as well. And again, when it stops and bases in that level, right before a bigger target like that, again, that's not a bad place to be able to start taking position. So that was the trade yesterday. Again, this was not the high, right? And again, I remember when I marked this off, I said this may or may not be the high. We don't know. We got to check it out. And even today, I would say that I wouldn't use that level. It's a bit too much for me. So I'd be waiting for this, to be kind of over in here somewhere, right? So there was your trade setup from yesterday. Today in the NQ, right now in the overnight, it's more or less flat. I don't know. I wouldn't say that I love this one. I mean, obviously smaller time frames. We're kind of bouncing back and forth. There's that smaller piece there. Here's our 15-minute. Yeah, I mean, very much consolidated in the overnight. I mean, there was yesterday's move. So I probably, if for some reason we get another spike today, I would not be using this zone again. I mean, it pushed all the way to the very, very break of that one. So again, not ideal for another setup. I may take this one. It's kind of bigger than I want though. I don't know. I would stop back at like 10. I would check this one at 10 and see what we were close to. With the negative news today, obviously the market has to react to that when it opens. This one would be an interesting reversal target. See where it's at. Look for that type of reversal. Like I said, I mean, there's a small zone here. You could technically, again, it came up and technically we did get big movement off of that area there. It did get pushed down. So again, there is a bit of a test in that level. The run on this one, from here down, the 1 to 3 is in a fine location. 1 to 5 a bit riskier again, although there is a zone there, but we did have a bump. So there is a small position in this one. Again, we'll have to see what the open looks like as far as how it reacts. Again, it's been kind of going sideways at this point. Eh, that's probably the best on this one. Like I said, NQ is a little bit funky right now. I don't like to take too many shorts on this one, just based off of where we are. Like I said, whenever you see something big like this, then obviously it's like, hey, listen, you need to make sure you get back. There's something going on. Don't know if we'll get that today, unfortunately. Don't think we'll get it. S&P was a bit bigger. So you can see we had positions just a little bit above and beyond, or a little bit on both sides. There's our 830 right there. We were sitting right here, right? So right here. We were skidding along that level. We were waiting for it to go just a bit higher. And again, we talked about this was a level, right? This was a level from chart school that we talked about. That's where price was. We did get a push away. It was tested before. So this one was the better of the two options yesterday. And I remember talking about this one and just deleting it and saying, hey, listen, let's go a little bit higher. It wouldn't hurt to go a bit higher, and it actually didn't take much more. But there was your level. There was your testing. There was your drop off of it. At this point, it's kind of stuck in between kind of both areas. Again, we can still have this area down below. Again, it's already been tested once and kind of respected again. So you got to keep, kind of 31.24-ish as an area that you want to watch out for as being an area where buyers have already stepped in, as well as, 31.75. Either of those two matter. Again, we've seen 31.75 has obviously been respected. Lower time frame, that's actually not a bad level for something small for the open. Again, we're pulling away from it. There's a zone sitting right there. It's a 1 hour zone. That's not too bad of a level. Again, this would be something small intraday, kind of at 31.58. Remember, I do have my price drug a little bit lower because the ECN numbers are slightly off. Okay, so my numbers here, if you can read those numbers, are small. They're slightly off. So I'm dragging this a little bit lower. I do know that. It's to kind of make up for the differences between the two. But approximately around 31.58, there is a smaller target today. And again, you can see some chopping back and forth. We're kind of in the middle, right? 31.24-ish, 31.80, 58. They could be small intraday targets. Again, market open in about 30 minutes. So we'll see, we'll see what the market's able to do, where it's able to go to. I'm still keeping on my radar 31.75 as well. This is too big of a push. Again, market moves in big things like this when big money pushes price around. You got to keep that on your radar as well. All right, and again, could be a position later. Dow, Dow's more or less just chopping back and forth. Let's see. Right here, same setup. So here was that Harry Potter that we talked about, or not Harry Potter, just this regular kind of sell right here, and you can see we just missed entry on it. We need to go a little bit higher. We were right here at chart school yesterday, and I was like, oh, it needs to go just a bit more. There's an aggressive entry right now, right? The aggressive is there, Let's see. I want the hourly. There we go. Yeah. So yeah, there was the hourly sitting right here, and we were just below it. So same setup. Again, there's what we're looking to enter, and it blew off of it. Not too much we could do. We'll do the Dow today. Let's see. Funny. We have this zone here. Look at the bounce off of that. Boom, boom, boom. Dow wise, I don't really like this one at all. We're in a level here, but there's so much stuff right below us. And actually, look at this. So it's not surprising that broke. 1, 2, 3, 4 was the break. Let's extend this. I want to see if we can draw back into that zone again. That zone was obviously, important because again, we went below, went above, went below, went above, went below, one. So this is a zone that people like. I'm going to keep that one marked off. There may be a short position in this one. And I'm thinking, again, if we can get back below again and it's decent push, there may be a position right here. The downside. That 1 to 3 would be just below that zone. Okay, I can handle. I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'd probably be okay with that. Yeah, if we can get a decent push down and like this was very, very quick. It kind of stayed in the same area on an hourly. Again, a lower time frame, this actually was something. Because this one has shown us that there's so much interest in the zone here, here, and here. There is a potential in this one, you know. And again, we're gonna have to drop down to much lower time frames once the market opens. You know, if it does pre-market, I'd be a little bit more leery of it because then that's basically setting up a bear trap. But once the market opens, I think there could be something potential in that one. But again, we need market open. Market's got to open. Typically, it's a 10-point higher difference for EC and for me. Yeah, it depends on what time frame and how close it is. Like right now, and again, it depends if I'm looking at Nadex versus actual market. Nadex is always a little bit high as well, where this is a little bit low. It tends to be off by about 10. This one's a little bit more, but I think the ES is off by 5 or 6. It's off by. So yeah, Dow's the least of the three that I like. I think the S&P has given us the cleanest opportunity. NQ, we'll have to see what it does. You know, there's a small kind of hyper aggressive kind of short here, but again, being up near all-time highs, I'm a little bit leery of that one. All right, gold. So gold. Bum bum bum. All right, kind of the same idea. Okay, we talked about profit targets back down to this bottom side. So here's where price is now. Right here at 9:30. And then we look back yesterday, price was right here. Right here. So I told you guys 118. I'm sorry, 18.15 was our entry. You guys can see that we came up, grabbed that one, pushed all the way back down the opposing profit target. Now, this one also had kind of a weird little, kind of a Harry Potter-ish setup and pushed back to the downside. But you can see it pushed beyond where the profit target would have been, which invalidates that Harry Potter trade setup. So, again, a lot of people see this as like, well, wait, did it work here? No, this was not a Harry Potter because if you would have thrown the, risk to reward on this one, you can see that price blew right through where the target was before it had any type of retrace. So that invalidates it. So just again, that's one of the rules on this one, just to keep you guys, consistent. Where we are now, I would say that 118.15 number is also a valid level. Obviously, the downside, we were looking for longs, or even if we had a break of this zone, taking this one short to kind of take over this little racetrack area here that we've had forever. Right now, we're kind of sitting kind of smack in the middle. Like I said, if we get a push up, we're good. Pushes down, these both kind of turned at kind of the same level. It's where this area kind of started, right? We had this basing and then there was a pop out of there. Oops. Kind of in that level, right? I mean, that's the first big green candle out. But I mean, there was one retest here, there's a retest here, there's a retest here. So I don't know that I would take this one as the aggressive entry. I think I would be a bit more conservative. Again, because it's Friday, it's got some room to run top and bottom. It doesn't mean that this one can't do it. But that's what my thinking would be. If I had to kind of pick something right now also, and again, I would extend this one across. Yeah, I mean, I think I'd wait for this to go higher. I mean, dropping down to the 15-minute. Again, we have the bigger zone that we're looking at 18.15, but there is a zone here. There's really great movement that came off of that. The highs are, it's still pushing. We have a higher high, higher high, higher high. The lows are kind of starting to slow in their ascent. And again, big movement, basing now. It would make sense that this could be a short position today. And again, timing matters as well. Timing matters as well. But yeah, I would say today I'd be looking for a pop and then a drop in this one. If this doesn't roll over right now, again, we got to wait for a lower high to get some type of an idea of an entry. But I would say that this is kind of prime real estate today to kind of come back down and push those lows, right? I think that's there. All right, would be something along those lines. Okay, looking at silver, again, kind of the same thing. We missed entry on this one. Nothing we can do about that. Price here. Price yesterday was sitting right here. We wanted to just bump a bit further, didn't get it, boom, collapsed. So you could use that level. It is a valid level if anybody is trading silver out there. Comes in at approximately 1893. Our analysis before, we were waiting for the alert set here, and then the short a bit higher, and again it just turned early on us. So, but again, the push down, very, very nice. I do like that. Very two large extended range bodied candles. 1893 would be a short. I actually don't have a long in this one. There's nothing really clean that I like until way down here. So it's got a bit of room to run before we get back down to that 18 level. All right. All right. Where is it? Bam. There we go. So gold was obviously completed. There was that 1 to 3 we set. Again, yesterday was the day. Again, we're sitting, here we are right now on 1300. And when we go back, you guys can see that 1300 was right here. So right after chart school finished, bam, we ended up pushing all the way through, all the way down to the 1 to 3 target that we had set on Thursday. So oil is good. Oil went down all the way down to 38.50, which I thought was pretty interesting. So again, that was a big push. It tore up a lot of levels in here, which is pretty cool. All right, so new levels now. We'll leave those up there. That one we can push to there and just leave it, because again, I got to show that for chart school for Tuesday. Nope, hide for now. Don't care about the ads. All right, so oil. So obviously we had a level right here, and there was a very quick entry on this one. There's a bit of a pullback. It literally just missed, but depending on your broker or what asset you're using to be able to take this one short, there was a trade set up in here. Maybe you got it, maybe you didn't. And again, if you did, it's definitely was a 1 to 3 to the downside. So you would have absolutely, without a doubt, gotten short that one. I think this one is already set for short here. There, and then your 3 goes right there. So you guys can see that this one was not a long-lived trade. Right to there. All right. So that zone is probably good for one more hit. Again, it got front run on there. That zone comes in at about 39.79 for today. Obviously, big push up in the overnight, right? In the last couple hours, again, this is a 30-minute chart. So really in the last 3 hours, big push to the top side. You would expect some type of retracement, particularly when the market opens. Again, that's going to be in about 25 more minutes. So there could be another short in this one. Again, taking this back down to $39 flat. Again, we'll see if it pushes through the top. Again, this one is an interesting situation. The fact that we really don't have a level till back up in this range. So this one actually could be taken in either direction. Whichever confirmation we can get, top side or bottom side, right there. Okay, that would be right kind of where this level is. This one I may take off a bit early, maybe pull that one back into kind of this range, which would be a 2.5. But again, interesting level. Has not truly been tested. Was front run before, so we know that sellers are interested in that area. Again, that could base in that level. If it does base in this level, it's probably not necessarily going to be the short. It's going to be the long. But either way, we were pretty much, I think this one is probably good either way. And again, I could do this to the downside just to make sure that everybody understands what it is. You know what? Here, I'll put it over here. Bring this one back. There you go. And again, that's fine. I'm actually okay with that. I think that's actually a fine place for that target back to the downside. So I think either of those two work, guys. It really depends if that zone decides that it wants to flip or if it doesn't want to flip. So it wouldn't be a direct entry. Get a confirmation coming at that zone in either direction. Drop it down to the 5-minute, and you guys should be able to grab it. All right. Wow, Debbie bought 5. Oh, Ernest is buying 5. I know why he's buying 5 tickets. I don't know why he didn't buy 5 tickets yesterday, but I know why he bought 5 tickets today. All right, guys. So that's the last one. So let's go ahead and do the giveaway for the day. We got 8 people in. We got 12 tickets. Yesterday's winner is in the queen of the pip chips. All right, the queen of the pip chips. She's in, but Ernest is trying to block it because... See, here's the thing, too. It's kind of funny. All right, I find... And again, what I'm going to do, guys, at 107.30, I will go ahead and I will close the drawing. And even if you're brand new, make sure you put exclamation point ticket, get in there for the drawing. It's funny. There's 2 ways. So Ernest is like the big stack of chips at the poker table, right? He throws the big chips out there. Now, he's not the smart big chips because yesterday would have been his 2 in a row and he only bought 1 ticket. And no, everybody had 1. So if he had dropped 5 yesterday, he could have, taken a win home, right? An extra win. He could have bought 1 extra ticket or 2 extra tickets, had, 33% chance of winning, 30% chance of winning, and he would have been ahead. And Marina beat him with 1. Today, he's the bully. He's the guy bluffing right now with the big thing of pip chips. And Marina's sitting over here, cool as a cucumber, being like, I'll take it with 1. I can win with 1. Many of times people have gone crazy, and she's coming here with her 1 pip chip and 1. All right, so let's see if she can do it today with 1 pip chip. All right, with 1. Let's see if she can take it. All right. 3, 2, 1. Bam. All right, giveaway closed down at 107.30. For those of you who are new, Lex and Buhoy, basically pip chips are the channel currency. What they are, you can buy mentoring. We can do 101s. I can do breakdowns of any charts that you like. We can discuss strategies, really anything that you want. The way you get pip chips is through the drawing or by watching the channel. If you follow the channel, you get like twice as many pip chips. It doesn't take that long to be able to get it. And all you have to do is go to the stream store, which you can find at the link below. Click it, redeem. I get an email about it. And again, I'll send you kind of a calendar. You can set up the time whenever you like. All right. So here we go. Let's go ahead and draw it. Let's see. Has Wealth Builder called a shot? No, Wealth Builder hasn't called a shot. So let's see. It's wide open today. And the winner is Lex. Look at that. Look at beginner's luck. First time in, already starting to win some stuff. So, Lex, congratulations. Ernest is like, Marina's like, I only spent 1. Ernest is like, I'm okay. She didn't win. Yeah, so the new guy takes it. So, Lex, welcome to the channel. Lex, we try to do as many of these as we can from 8 to 9 in the morning. You'll get an additional 25 pip chips today, on top of what you earned anyway. Well, again, brand new. You're probably close to the bottom. Let me go to the back because I think you just got in for today. It's always hard to find these. Let's see. I'm going to have to type it in. Let's see. These are people that just stopped in the channel real quick. There we go. So you will take an immediate jump. You get your 25 extra for the day. And that'll pump you up to 27, right? So you got a little bit of room to run, right? If we look at the current leaderboard, here's the public leaderboard right now. You can see who the top guys are, the big dogs up here, right? Will is literally right on his heels. Marine is right behind, followed by Debbie. So it's kind of a guys versus girls battle, right? Guys versus girls battle. But yeah. If I win, I'll post to the profit channel. Yeah. Ray's like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Well, it's not Marina, so I'm good with that. I knew you were going to say that, Ernest. I knew that was going to happen. All right, guys. So that's it for the week. So we'll be back on next week. Monday, I think Monday I'll be able to do the 8 to 9 in the morning. Like I said, it's been working well. Melissa's Series 7 is done. She passed last week. That's why I couldn't do it last Monday. But I think we'll be good. My voice should be recovered from Saturday to Monday. So I will see you guys on. If you guys need anything in Discord, go ahead and shoot me a message. Besides that, have a good trading day today. I'm going to see some posts in the profit channel. And yeah, have a good, safe weekend. And I'll see you guys next week on Monday. You guys take care. Thanks again.